Welcome to part 1 of a 35-day Asia trip. 4 countries and first country up is Korea. My god, did we have poor timing. Our flight to Korea was literally the same week as all those other plane crashes at the start of 2025. I'm already one of those anxious flyers, so to say I was absolutely terrified was an understatement. I don't know how Sean does it, but he's one of those, well, there's nothing I can do now, flyers, and just played on his Steam Deck the entire time. Fortunately, we survived. I haven't really used the metro a lot in my lifetime, so there was a bit of a learning curve in trying to navigate our way to the hotel. We accidentally bought the wrong one-way ticket at the airport metro station, so we were blocked from leaving our final metro stop. We didn't have any cash on hand yet to be able to buy a new ticket to cover it, so we had to call over security and explain what happened. I was the only one of the two of us that knew some Korean, and even that has faded over time since I graduated. Luckily, he knew enough English to understand and just told us to buy the correct ticket next time and let us go. Thank you, Mr. Metro Security Man. Our friends Joy and Emily weren't getting in until the next day in the evening, so we didn't quite know what we should do in the meantime. The first missions we gave ourselves were 1. Withdraw cash, 2. Get a T-Money card, 3. Get food somewhere. In my research, I knew you could find ATMs in convenience stores in Japan, but I wasn't sure if you were able to do that in Korea. 저기 ATM 있어요? 없습니다. Sorry, what? 없다고요. Okay, 감사합니다. Let's go. Thank God for Uribank down the street with a global ATM. Mission 1 was complete. But I knew for a fact the way to get a T-Money card was at a convenience store. So, wanna get some food? We walked around the area and came across a place with different photos of meat dishes on the outside. The restaurant had galbi in the name, so we figured it would be a good place to start with. Now, I was just planning to get individual meat dishes. I saw they had bulgogi, so that was my game plan. But of the two of us, the lady behind the counter decided to approach the one person who knew 0 Korean. She could tell he couldn't understand what she was saying, so she just said one thing in English: soup or barbecue. Well, I didn't come all the way to Korea for soup. Barbecue! With that, they ushered us upstairs to a Korean barbecue burner. We chose our 2 meats, and they started stacking upon stacking as many side dishes as they could onto our small table. These were all free, by the way. We were supposed to wait to get Korean barbecue until Joan and Emily got here, since it's a big part of Korea that everyone was looking forward to, but somehow we accidentally got swept into it, and I didn't know enough Korean to get us out of it. The first meat we ordered was called sengalbi. One thing you should know for the rest of this trip is I am a terrible picky eater, and food was definitely one of my biggest fears going on this trip. But I told myself I would try, and try I did. I cannot explain to you just how good that meat was. I'll tell you right now that first bite was the best food of the entire trip. Nothing topped the punch of flavor that meat delivered. It's honestly a shame that all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue isn't much of a thing in Korea, but it was probably for the best because Sean and I would have literally put them out of business. They even gave you a little cup of ice cream after your meal. I was in heaven. We paid for our accidental Korean barbecue and left with excitement for the rest of the trip. Mission 3 complete. Shoot, we still have mission 2, don't we? 어서 오세요. Oh, thank God. Mission 2 was complete. On day 2, we decided to go visit a random mall kind of nearby called Times Square before Emily and Jonah arrived. On our way there, Sean realized the jacket he brought from home was nowhere near warm enough for the weather there, and the forecast predicted it was only gonna get colder. We wandered down the street and came across a shop ran by an old lady who knew 0 English. From what I could gather, she was asking us what we needed. I was able to tell her that Sean needed a coat and it was really cold. She took one look at him and immediately pulled out the exact size coat to fit him. She even gave us a really decent price for it. Not to toot my own horn, but this was actually my best Korean conversation of this trip. Even though I sunk 4 semesters into learning the language, I was always worried about my speaking and listening skills, even more so after not studying for so long. Despite all this, I was able to navigate us through that conversation pretty well. It validated that the work that I put in during college wasn't for nothing, and I was proud. It honestly makes me want to pick back up my language studies. I also asked her where we can get some gloves, and she told us to go down the steps ahead into the metro and we'd find a shop that sells gloves for $3. Little did we know that there was a massive underground marketplace beneath us the whole time. We found the shop that she was talking about and even got Sean a warm hat. Coincidentally, this mall was also connected to the mall through an underground entrance. Korea is just wild, man. Sean and I are from the suburbs in America, so malls that we're used to are slowly running out of business, quite vacant, and small. not really much to do there anymore. But this Korean mall was the mall of all malls. Not only were there a million floors, but there was a literal zoo on the top floor. You could buy bags of food to give to some of the animals. There were a bunch of birds, turtles, a fennec fox, and a super fat raccoon. My favorite was the toucan. I loved hearing the cute clap noise his beak made when you gave him a food pellet. They also had what must be their version of a Best Buy there, and with Sean being a videographer and just a huge tech nerd in general, he couldn't help himself. To our surprise though, there are quite a few things that we found to actually be cheaper in Korea than in America. One of the new drones and some of the lenses Sean has been looking at were nearly $300 off. It took basically everything in him not to walk out of there with it. Jonah and Emily finally arrived in Korea and we went back to the hotel to meet up. They were starving after the long flight, so we brought them to our newfound favorite place, Ojanggalbi. The lady inside recognized us from the other day and brought us upstairs. We ordered more of the beautiful sengalbi among some of the other meats. Once again, Ojanggalbi did not miss. They even gave us a free bottle of soju as thanks for coming back and with more people this time. If you're ever in Korea, hit up Ojanggalbi for us. They're great. The next day, we went to visit the Coex and Lotte malls. Something that I think is really cool about Korea is how all these malls were directly connected to the underground metro paths. We hadn't seen sunlight like the entire day because we could just wander from one mall to the other throughout the underground. Sean has a fear of heights, but he really wanted to go to the top of the Lotte Tower. Specifically, he wanted to do the outdoor portion where you're strapped to the building. No. We stayed inside. We came across a few caricature artists at the top and we each got a couple drawing. Emily and Jonah's came out pretty well. Just by looking at it, you could tell it was them. And then Sean and I got ours. We had a good laugh about it, don't worry. Before we knew it, it was dinner time, so we decided to go for some chimek. We found a highly reviewed place and wandered down the street to find it, but the GPS led us to what looked like the back of the building. A lot of restaurants were on the second floors of buildings, so we went up the stairs, not realizing we were coming in through the emergency exit. It turned out the entrance was actually on the opposite side of the building, and the GPS just led us down the wrong street. Despite that embarrassing move, this ended up being Jonah's favorite meal in Korea because of the massive portions at such an affordable cost. We didn't have a huge plan for Korea, so we visited a few of the famous street markets and historical sites. I'm not super crazy on history, so the history spots were just okay. The street markets were really cool though. There were a lot of good food and cool shops to go into. We all got to try the dalgona game. Sean actually took the last umbrella. He didn't survive. Meanwhile, I took the squid and successfully carved it out. And for those who are wondering, the cookies are actually really good. We went back to that stall a couple times just for the cookie. Overall, Korea turned out to be the most chill part of the trip. We were under the impression that we'd have to rush through all the things we wanted to do, so we didn't run out of time, but that just led to us finishing everything in the first 4 days. With 4 extra days of, it got to the point that Jonah was saying, like every other hour, that we should just go to the airport and buy a ticket to Japan early. We understand now that it would have been good to explore outside of Seoul, but with it being the dead of winter, we figured places like Busan or Jeju Island wouldn't be as great. I do appreciate that we got to take our time in the later days to wander the street markets more though. Japan, on the other hand, was going to be a massive whiplash to our chill Korea week. We had 4 cities in 8 days. Thank you everyone for watching the video. If my voice sounds a little off, I'm finally getting over a sickness that I've been fighting off for like 3 weeks now. Anyways, sorry this one took so long to come out. There's a lot that goes into making these and there's so much I want to share about the trip. I can already tell the Japan video is going to be a long one too. Hopefully I can get that one out faster, but I might experiment with animating in Clip Studio for it. So thank you for your patience in advance. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!